I'm busy with cherry farming, and the series is called The 7 Habits of a Cherry Farmer. So today we're busy with habit number 2. Now, last week we did setting your goals and deciding which cherries you want to pick or focus on. And today I am doing habit 2, which is getting yourself ready to go for it. And the short and sweet of it is 3 S's: sleep, stress, and sugar. Sleep, stress, and sugar. And I'm going to show you what I've been doing. But my purpose is to help you find your purpose and run with it. And that means I have to do it for myself. So I'm showing you through showing you by showing you what I do. Okay, so I'll just switch over my view. This is the 7 habits of Cherry Farmer. And the 3 S's are sleep, stress, and sugar. Okay, so that's the second habit of the 7 habits. So I'll take this away. Now, as you see, I drew my 4 cherries that I'm focusing on today. And the first cherry, I always do it in a little rhyme, then I can remember. Singer, song, writer, speaker, and food care. That's my cherries, okay? Now, a speaker is evolved a little bit in author. So I'm going to be doing more authoring. And the reason why is speaking, you need an audience. Authoring, I don't need an audience. I can just write. And sometimes you have to do some work before you get it out there. So it's the seeding stage of growing, and growing a flower. A seeding, that is the author. And the flower stage, that is the speaking. And then if you're a speaker, you have a book at the back of the room and you can sell books. And it becomes other products. Okay, so the singer, songwriter, and speaker and food care, let's number it, then it makes it easy. So what I'm saying is the 3 S's. Now, why they are important is sleep, stress, and sugar. Is if you're going on a long trip and you want to know how you're going to get there, and this is your goal, so that you can reach all your cherry goals, you have to make sure that your vehicle is in tip-top shape. So that means you need to make sure that it's gone for a service, that your tires are in good shape, that you've changed your oil and your filters, because you don't want to be starting with a disadvantage, because along the way you'll have breakdowns. But if you have it checked in tip-top shape, you won't break down along the way, and then you can go further, and it will be a cheaper road. We're cheap on your body, we're cheap on everybody else that lives with you. So that's why I'm saying sleep, stress, and sugar. Now, sleeping enables you to rest enough to process what you've gone through the day. It also helps you lose weight. It helps you to focus. If you've ever been exposed to having a baby, you'll know what it feels like not getting sleep. And it's something to get used to. So sleeping, you get a phases that you go through. And there's a deep sleep phase where you actually go into a deep sleep. And that is where all the action happens. And that's the last part of your sleep. So if you sleep too short, 6 to 8 hours, if you sleep too short, then you miss that. And then you only get the short sleep, and that's not good enough. So this is the important sleep, the last bit of your sleep. So sleeping is very important. So if you plan your day, we want, let me see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I always say, don't put it on your plate, put it on your schedule. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I literally say I go to bed at night at 10 and I get up at 6. So that's my sleepy time. Sleep, and that's what I do. So I make sure that that's important. So I actually set a reminder on my phone to make sure that I know it's from 9:30 onwards. I read and I go brush my teeth and I'm just rustig. I don't watch television that time. And get up at 6. So that's my how I bring in sleep. and rest. In the afternoons, here by 2 o'clock, I'll do peaceful activities. I'll say a ZZZ for resting, but it just means it's a reset button. You don't have to go sleep, but it's just to take a break. A break, that's important. Otherwise, you can't give your all. And to plan your activities in the mornings, bigger load than in the afternoons. Otherwise, you'll tire yourself out. So it's very important. You can't run a car on empty, and you need enough sleep to recover from your day. Now, let's look at stress. Now, stress is something that uses your cortisol, and that's your hormone that helps you run away from the lion, cortisol. And if you have a lot of stress, you know, how many times if you're a bushman do you run away from the lion? Hopefully just once a day. So if you have a lot of stress during the day, you know, maybe if you have a lot of stress during the day, it goes up and up and up, then you have to be able to reset your button. And if this happens too much, you're living in the red a lot of using a lot of stress hormones, it means your body never gets to recover, and you start depleting your cortisol resources. And what this leads to is that your adrenal glands are fatigued, and it starts using other hormones to create cortisol. So the ideal is not to stress too much, or to manage your stress. It's like riding a horse and making it easier to manage your stress. So the cortisol is very important, the management of that. And how you manage your stress, for me, I make sure I walk the dog. Can you see that's feet? I walk the dog in the morning and the afternoon. So if you don't have a dog, get a dog, or walk the neighbor's dog. So it doesn't have to be long, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's just to do something else, and also to, this is an eye, it's just to look further than you're looking on a page or on a computer. So that's the walk the dog twice a day. And then on weekends, I will do a long walk, because that helps clear my mind, the long walk. And it de-stresses you a lot. So cortisol is very important. You can't stay there, because if you collect that, if that was money, you'll be rich at the end of the week. But if this is not money, this is your most valuable asset, is having a stress hormone that helps you cope with stressful situations. But if you abuse it too much, it's very expensive, and then it ends up of you in bad habits like drinking too much, or smoking too much, or eating too much. So it leads to bad behavior that's difficult to control, and also weight gain. And then you can't sleep well, and then your libido goes down. So there's lots of problems with stress. So stress, how to lower it is to make sure that you have a reset button. Reset button. Okay, so my reset button would be, I set a timer for lunchtime. I do it the old-fashioned way. This is my reset button, where I do take a break. So don't just take a break. Make sure that you take a break with your mind, and then also with how you manage your stress. And what I also find helpful is to write down, this is the wrong side, to write down what you're stressed about, so that you can look at it on paper, because then it seems like you can do something about it. So I write down my stresses, and a lot of times stress resolves itself, but it's good to see the progress of it. So this is writing down your stress. So you'll see, I have little lists everywhere. If stuff bothers me, I'll write it down, and then I know I can look at it. It's not gone. I don't have to keep it in my head. Then I can clear my head. So I have little papers everywhere with stress stuff on it, or I use Trello as another resource I use. And then on Sunday nights, I'll look at it and sort it. But then it's out of your head and onto a piece of paper. So that's how I get rid of stress. And then the last one is sugar. Now, sugar, you must know that your body doesn't run on empty. You have to feed it. And to keep it healthy. So now if you work with diabetics, you'll know that sugar is a big thing. So sugar, if this is your 6 o'clock and this is your 10 o'clock and 24, you'll know that your liver, this is your liver, will release sugar into your blood system at night when you're sleeping. So then you'll have blood sugar. You don't have to eat. It'll do that automatically. And that's why a lot of diabetics will tell you, oh, my sugar was high this morning and I didn't even eat. Well, it was your liver releasing sugar because into your bloodstream. Now, the rest of the day, it's on you to feed your body. So if you only eat at lunch, a lot of people just have coffee in the morning, you are so hungry by this time. Your blood sugar would have dropped, if this is 5, which is normal, millimole per liter sugar. If it dropped, if your liver gave you a lot of sugar here in the morning at 6, and now it's dropped by lunchtime, and you eat something, and usually when it's a cafeteria food, it picks it up so fast, sugar and chips and coffee and, processed food. Now your blood sugar raises, let's say, to 10. So it's 10 and 5, 0. Now your blood sugar raises because of the food you ate at 12. And then what happens is your insulin kicks in and it lowers it because you can have that high blood sugar and it lowers it. And now you're back to where you were and you feel awful. You feel shaky. And then by the time you get home, you're eating the cupboard. You can eat everything in the cupboard. So the problem is you don't want these spikes because it makes you volatile. You rather want a stable basis to work from. So when you can stabilize your blood sugar levels from 6 to 10, and you want to get it 5, you want it once, because this is ideal. It gives your brain support and your body support. You don't want your blood sugar to be too high. So eat breakfast, eat lunch, eat dinner, and then you can do snacks in between, and that keeps your blood sugar level. And then you have to plan it a bit. The planning is not that bad. You figure out what you're going to have for breakfast, and it's usually the same thing. Let me do it like this. And do your lunch, same thing, and do your dinner, same type of thing. Try not to mix protein with carbs. Eat it at a different time. And so if you balance it, it makes it better. So this, if you keep it the same, then you can say, for this week I'm eating this, next week I'm eating that. People aren't that exciting anyway. They eat the same stuff all the time. So for here on my Monday to Friday schedule, I will say, this is my breakfast, this is my lunch, and this is my dinner, which I'm going to be cooking. There's a knife and a fork. The same thing. So it sounds terrible to say you have to write it out, but I'm telling you, if you don't do it, stuff happens. If you don't plan for success, your failure will happen. So that's what you do for the rest of the week. And then if you're like on a diet or you need something more, schedule it. Say all the cheating stuff I was feeling like, you can write it on your piece of paper, and then you can schedule it for a Saturday morning or a Friday night, depending on when is the best for you. So that's what I would suggest. Sleep, stress, and sugar. That's the 3 things that will get your vehicle in tip-top shape to get you to your 5 cherries. And next time I will talk about how to fit in your 4 or 5 cherries. So I hope this helps you. I know it sounds terrible to map out when you're going to sleep and when you're going to be eating, but it is actually important, and to de-stress. So this was a long video today. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful Monday, and subscribe to my channel. Leave me your comments, what you find works for sugar, sleep, and stress, and maybe we can help each other out.